Hi, this is a personal message to our Home Secretary, Mrs. Priti Patel, from me, Anwar Aftal, a community activist from Birmingham, United Kingdom. Right, okay. Mrs. Patel, I would personally like to thank you for thinking about our country, especially with the plight of the refugees and the mayhem it's caused in the United Kingdom, the money that we're spending on them in terms of housing them, accommodating them, providing them with benefits and so, and then we find out that they're not refugees, or maybe they are, but so what? We need to get the nitty-gritty out and sort it that way. We've got a system where it takes forever to process them. So this way, they'll get tired and leave of their own free will. Fantastic. Absolutely spot on. Yeah, I agree that we should process them in Gibraltar, the Isles of Man, Isles of Dogs, wherever, so long as they're away from the UK mainland. Mrs. Patel, you've thought of this thoroughly, and you've looked at the benefits to us, the British citizens in the United Kingdom, and unlike Theresa May and Sajid Javid and others before them, who are not as blunt as you are, and I admire you just for that particular reason. And now what I have to say is I'm thinking, why are there so many refugees in this world? And I've come to the conclusion, and there can only be one conclusion, that United Kingdom and friends, America, Israel, amongst others, like France and so on, they are providing or creating refugees, shall I say. They're creating refugees. Why are they creating refugees? Well, one, who are we going to sell our WMDs to? Who are we going to sell our bombs to? Who are we going to sell our arms and ammunition to? Who are we going to sell our helicopters and our aeroplanes and our tanks and everything to? We have to sell it to them. All right, so what if they kill a few and they bomb each other? It's no skin off our nose, is it? We're making millions out of it. We are getting richer, especially the Tory government, because most of these companies are financed or have shareholders from the Tory government, and so it's our way of making money from the vulnerable. The vulnerable being countries like Iraq, Libya, Syria, Afghanistan, African countries, and so forth, And so in the first instance, we sell them these arms and ammunition, and then the WMDs, the bombs, the fighter jets, and so on, and we make a killing in more than one ways. And so they become refugees, and then they later become a burden upon us. So we can't win one way or the other. You got to have it one way or the other, but you can't have it both ways. Then again, the other aspect of it is we create terrorist groups such as Al-Qaeda and others, who were created by America, Israel, and the West. Even Osama bin Laden was trained in the United Kingdom, from what I heard. Unless I'm wrong, maybe, but I've heard that he was trained in here. And the purpose at the time was to diminish the Russian forces who had invaded Afghanistan. So they were telling the Taliban and and the Al-Qaeda, look, we're on your side. Here's the finances, here's the money, here's the tanks, here's the arms and ammunition, here's the bombs. Get rid of the Russians after 20 years. they succeeded. Having succeeded, what happens? These terrorist groups become surplus to requirements. When they become surplus to requirement, what happens? We don't need them anymore. So we'll now call them our own terrorists. Yeah, now they are a threat to America, they are a threat to Israel, they are a threat to the United Kingdom, they are a threat to the West. So we now have to spend more money to eliminate them. First of all, we create them, then we try and eliminate them. What happened? We have countries on edge amongst themselves, such as Syria, Libya, and Iraq. And within them, they're all having infighting. We're supplying guns and ammo and bombs to both sides. Not one, to both sides. Because we're on a winner. So, and then the final outcome is we have millions and millions of refugees fleeing these countries. And when they flee from these countries, then they become a burden upon us. So you can't, which is it? I can't understand. Is it a burden in the first place, or is it a burden after we've created them? I think the simple solution is stop selling these arms, ammunition, bombs, WMDs to foreign countries. Yeah, all right, you all need arms and ammunition for our own defense. Keep it within your own country, but don't need to sell it to these countries so that they can create more refugees. And I think that's the solution for it. Not to process them in different countries or in different areas. Is to eliminate refugees by not creating them. I think that is the solution. Well, I think, Mrs. Home Secretary, you will take this on board and look at it. I know it's going to be difficult because your friends in high places have got contracts with these large companies. On top of that, we're getting oil, gold, and minerals from the countries that we have invaded. Ironically, though, you have to look at the Americans and how they invade these countries. And what? The refugees come to England. Why? Why do they go to America? It just beats me. Surely if the Americans are the main people behind invading these countries and created the refugees, then they should go to America, not to Britain. Maybe you could push it that way. I mean, you've come up with these brilliant ideas. You might come up with something else, hopefully. Anyway, best of luck. Fantastic. Bye for now.